Hey cupcakes, do you want to make some cheesecake with me? Come on. Today we're making turtle cheesecake. Turtle is one of my favorite flavors. It is, if you don't know, but that turtle candy is like caramel and pecans, and then it's coated in chocolate. You get coarse sea salt over top. Perfection. But you can do turtle and incorporate those flavors in a lot of things. So here I have 4 8-ounce packs of cream cheese, softened. If room temperature is not enough, pop them in the microwave for a little bit, that's fine. A cup and a half of white granulated sugar. And then we are going to mix these together. Many people ask why I don't use a mixer, why I do all my cheesecakes by hand. And I make multiple cheesecakes a week. I make 50, this would be 58 flavors. I do them all by hand because when you use a mixer, it's easy to overmix. What overmixing does in this case is it whips extra air into your cheesecake, which is what causes, one of the things that causes it to crack and not be as creamy. So if I do it by hand, the chances of me overmixing are super slim. All right, so when we get that pretty smooth, we're going to add in 4 eggs. Add them all, and then we will mix them all. Eggs are all incorporated. Now the base of this cheesecake, this is going to be a caramel cheesecake because that is the main flavor in turtle. So to help with the flavor from the body, I'm using a caramel emulsion by Loran. Now you can find this in stores. You can buy it online. I've seen it at Walmart, this brand specifically. I really like them. And I've seen them at like Michael's, okay, stuff like that. And you can grab it on Amazon, but easily like findable. An emulsion is often thicker than an extract and has a more concentrated flavor. I prefer using emulsions in cheesecakes if I'm going to use something other than just like the fresh fruit or what have you over an extract, okay? So about a teaspoon and a half of this. A little extra isn't going to hurt anything. Half a cup of milk and 1 cup of sour cream. I'm going to put all these ingredients in here at the same time, and then we will mix them together. Now I've already prepared my crust. It is just a regular graham cracker crust, but I have taken it up the sides just a little bit to give a little bit of lip on the bottom, which I don't do with all of mine, but I do with like some that this is going to be a hefty slice of cheesecake. Gives it a little bit of extra support. All right, and then we need 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. If you're gluten-free, you can use a gluten-free flour, or I would say a tablespoon and a half of cornstarch. I bake all my cheesecakes in a water bath. And what I do, I have evolved from how I used to do it a couple years ago, is I have a large pan, and then inside of that I have a large cake pan that I put my springform pan into. I'll show you. By putting a large cake pan, this is 11 inches, and my springform inside of it, I don't have to wrap it in foil, and there's absolutely no way that the water from the water bath can get in here. So here's my crust. You can do this ahead of time. Pop it in. Before you do your crust, even though you're adding butter and stuff, give your whole pan all the way up the sides a good spray. That's just going to help your cheesecake release. All right, so the cheesecake base is done. So let's slowly pour it into the crust. If you pour it too fast, you might disturb some of those graham cracker pieces on the bottom, and then they float up through the cheesecake, which ruins that texture. Okay. This should produce a nice, tall, impressive cheesecake. Now, before it hits the oven, we are going to swirl in some caramel. You could use a jarred caramel sauce that's a little thicker if you want. You can make your own if you want. And a little bit of a chocolate sauce. I would use a chocolate sauce meant to drizzle like this for inside instead of a ganache. Ganache gets weird when it's baked like that. And what we're gonna do is just drizzle this in. Doesn't have to look pretty because we're gonna bake it. A little bit of both. Oh, we're at the end of this one. That's actually perfect though. And then we're going to just very gently and not touching the bottom of the cheesecake, swirl this in so that we get like a caramel fudge ripple kind of moment. But like I said, we don't want to touch the crust and disturb it. So I'm just gonna swirl this. And don't worry, the top will get more chocolate, more caramel, and that's where our pecans will come in. I don't put pecans in the cheesecake because I find when they bake in there, they get soggy and then kind of gummy, and you don't have that real crunch that you want from the pecans. So let me bring you in for a close-up so you can see how it looks before it hits the oven. Isn't that beautiful, like marbling? It looks like acrylic art pour. Now we're gonna pop this into a 325-degree oven for 50 minutes. Once it's finished baking, turn off the oven and keep the oven doors closed for 30 minutes. Crack them open for 30 minutes, then let it cool on the counter and refrigerate 6 hours or overnight. I always recommend overnight with a cheesecake. It's nice to let it chill all the way down and set, and we're keeping it in the springform pan this whole time. We want to let it fully chill in that, and then we'll come back and we'll do toppings, toasted pecans, a sprinkle of sea salt, and it is going to be absolutely phenomenal. Hello down there. Our cheesecake is finished, so I thought I would slice it with you and then we will top it with all the things. It looks gorgeous. But we gotta see. Now the first slice can sometimes be rough. So we're praying for perfect first slice energy here. Make sure it looks good, okay? See how we're gonna do. Yeah, get all that crust. Wiggle, wiggle. Front and back. Woo! She looks pretty good. Oh, I can smell the caramel from here. And look at the swirl. Okay. Now we just do that 9 more times. All right, cheesecakes in the containers. Now, I am adding caramel over top. I made a chocolate ganache. We're gonna drizzle that. I prefer that over a syrup on top. It's a little bit thicker and it still stays soft and creamy but doesn't get runny when it's refrigerated. I toasted some pecans and gave them a chop, and each one's gonna get a sprinkle of coarse sea salt over top. I think that's gonna emulate the like candy itself. So let's start with caramel, shall we? Don't be stingy here. This is the good stuff. So I currently make 57 flavors of cheesecake. I believe this week I will make my 58th. 59 and 60 are picked out, but we'll see. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep going with like flavors. But when I feel like something needs to be a flavor, I find a way to make it, or I find a recipe, or I combine a couple recipes. So that looks stunning already. Let's add the ganache. I just threw mine in a piping bag. You can just zigzag it on with like a fork. That'll look just wonderful and fine. Ooh. Now, the pecans. This is what makes it turtle. You're gonna get that crunch. We've toasted it so it has, I feel like toasting them brings out more of that nuttiness. Gonna get one in every bite. We're gonna cover the top. I always make sure like each piece has some. And then I go back and load them up even more. Oh my gosh, they look so pretty. I know, it's in bad taste to like compliment your own work. But sometimes like things just come out as they are in your head, and sometimes they don't. So we gotta celebrate when they do. All right. Now, just a little salt. Not too much, but enough to give all that balance, give that little like pucker. And that, my friends, is scratch made Sweet Notes Bakery turtle cheesecake. Make sure you like, follow, and if you try this recipe out, take pictures and let me know in the comments. Okay, bye friends.